Good morning, Yvonne. Sorry about last evening. Here in Dola, there is a serious problem with the power. A very, very serious problem. I hope this one is to be resolved. So today's standard is on IAS 23, borrowing costs. You have to appreciate one thing, that when you're borrowing for a sole purpose to construct or to undertake a project, the cost of borrowing will be capitalized. What I mean is that it will be part of the cost of the project. Therefore, it will be charged to the balance sheet. Let's look at one good example of where IAS 23 can easily be identified. The Kazungula Bridge, bridging the regional divide. What's the context of this particular project? It's a key road and rail bridge crossing over the Zambezi River along the north-south corridor. A key trade route linking the port of Durban in South Africa to the inland countries of Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, DRC, and up to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. We know what was happening in Kazungula before this project. For years, ferries were used to cross the river, and it would take so many days. It was a very stressful process. ADF is among those that are actually financing this project. The total project cost is 259.3 million, funded through a co-financing arrangement with JICA, and the bank covers 51 million UA from the ADF window. So you can see how much is actually going to government. It's about just 9.2%. So let's look at the overview of this particular standard. The overview for the standard, that it requires that borrowing costs directly attributable to the acquisition, construction, or production of a qualifying asset, one that necessarily takes a substantial period of time to get ready for its intended use or sale, are included in the cost of the asset. Any other costs, borrowing costs, will be recognized as an expense. There's what we call IDC, interest during construction. So any interest that is being incurred during construction, that interest has to be capitalized. Anything outside that will be expensed. Tim, I hope you're getting it right. Yvonne, I think it's all right. I hope so. So the objective of IAS 23 is to prescribe the accounting treatment for borrowing costs. Borrowing costs include interest on bank overdrafts and borrowings, finance charges on finance leases, and exchange differences on foreign currency borrowings where they are regarded as an adjustment to interest costs. So the interest expense calculated by the effective interest method under IAS 39. Finance charges in respect of finance leases are recognized in accordance with IFRS 16 now, not IAS 17. This is an outdated standard. Exchange differences arising from foreign currency borrowings to the extent that they are regarded as an adjustment to interest costs. I'd already explained to you on the borrowing cost that if it is during construction, what we call IDC, those costs will have to be capitalized. Outside that, the interest costs or financing costs will have to be expensed. So capitalization starts when expenditure on the asset commences, borrowing costs have been incurred, activities necessary to prepare the asset are in progress. Capitalization must stop when the asset is ready for its use, that is commercial use. Capitalization for specific borrowings is capitalized using the effective rate of interest, which I'll be showing you in a moment. So let's look at this question. It reads, Zambia commenced the construction of toll gates across the country on 1st March 2018 and funded it with a 10 million loan. The rate of interest on the borrowings was 5%. Due to a strike, no construction took place between 1st October and 1st November. Calculate the amount of interest to be capitalized as per 2 of non-current assets if Zambia's reporting date is the 1st December 2018. So let's go to Excel. So what we'll do here, we'll need to disregard the period from 1st October to 1st November, because whatever expense that was incurred during that period can only be expensed because it is not attributable, cannot be attributable to the construction of the toll gate. Then if we have that, we can then now do the computations. So what is the question telling us? From 1st March to December. So I'll go the old school where you do this. Sometimes we get it wrong. Then I'll remove October because that is the time that there was a strike. So if I count these, it actually gives us 9 months. So if I do this, I know you don't have to. It gives us 9 months. Then what is the project cost? The borrowings. Should be 10 million. Is 10 million. What is the rate? The annual rate is 5%. So how much? This 5% is annual. So we'll do this, we'll say 9 divided by 12 times 10 million. We'll know how much we can capitalize. So this is the interest that will capitalize. Any questions up to this level? No questions. We can go back to the question again. Calculate the amount of interest to be capitalized. Ignore the typos there. So we have, and we have found it's 7.5. Let me just check. Check again. Is it really 7.5? How much did we get? Oh, sorry. It's that times, I was wondering, times 5%. Sorry, times 5%. So it is times 1,000,000. How much would this be? If I was to multiply by 1,000,000, it should be this times 1,000,000. I was really wondering. Sorry, everyone. It's $375,000. That would be the interest. So we can now comfortably go back and do the correct thing. We are done on this. So here, we will need to find the effective rate. So Zambia had the following bank loans in issue during 2018. 4% bank loan, 3% bank loan, which is to 35, the other one was 20 million, and 2.5 bank loan, which is 15. Zambia commenced the construction of an item of property, plant, and equipment on 1st January 2018, for which it used its existing borrowings. 10 million of expenditure was used on 1st January. 15 million was used on 1st July, right? On 1st July. And 8 million was used on 1st October. Calculate the amount of interest to be capitalized as part of the non-current assets. Here, the question is, or the puzzle is, that we have three sources of financing with different interest rates or terms. And we have this particular pot or bank account where all this money is going and we are just spending. So we need to calculate to find the effective rate, which we can actually use to determine the interest. For example, we are actually told that there was an equipment that was constructed on 1st January 2018. 10 million of expenditure was used on 1st January, meaning that the full year from 1st January to 31st December, we'll have to calculate that full year. Here, I think we're actually assuming that the accounting period starts on 1st January, ends on 31st December. So once we find the effective rate, we will use that effective rate multiplied by the 10 million to find for the full year. Then on 1st July, which will be, is it 6 months? 6 months or 7 months, I don't know, we'll still have to calculate. Or half of that, 15 million times whatever rate times 6/12. The other one would be, I think, 3 million, 8 million times again the period times the effective rate. So we can then now go to Excel and see what can be done from there. So example 2, this is what we'll do. We need to know these facilities, the loan facility, we have the 4%, the amount is how much? 20. I think we have the, is it 25 or 35? 35, 15. This side, we have 3 and 2.5%. And 2.5%. These will assume that it's in millions. I guess that's what it is, or in $1 million. Got to do it right. So here, obviously, we'll have that. This is the loan. This is the interest. Our aim is to find the interest costs, or the financing costs, sorry, which is that, giving us 2.2 total amount this side, 70. So the effective rate or weighted rate, effective or weighted rate is the interest divided by the loan facility, giving an interest of 3.179%. Now, this is how it was dispersed. Drawdowns, we call them drawdowns, because interest is based on what you have drawn. So, what are we told? 10 million of the expenditure was used on 1st January. So, 1st January used 10 million. On 1st July, used how much? On 1st July, 15 million. On 1st October, how much? 8 million. Taking to total of 33 million. That is what was used. But because we don't know where, if this 10 million, for example, came from the first facility, we'll just do the computation for that. But this is in a common pool. So we are forced in a way to come up with the effective rate. I shouldn't put the interest this side, but I'm going to put it, or if I don't, okay, let me just put it for you to see. So meaning that the interest in here what will be capitalized will be there. This is what is going to be capitalized, and I'll need to put it in somehow in this particular color. So it will be 10 times that amount giving a total of 1.05. But the effective rate is this. But the interest that will be capitalized will be that. Sorry. So this is not what's going to be capitalized because we have assumed as if we are actually getting the drawdowns are all done on 1st January. So we'll come here and show how much will be capitalized. So this is what is going to be capitalized. This is for the whole 12 months. Remember that this is for the whole 12 months. I'll need to show that. Not that this is how you have to do it. This is a long cut. That is for 12 months. This is for 6 months. And there is for 3 months. Because the drawdowns were made on 1st October. So meaning that interest will be charged from 1st October to 31st December. So this is why you have the 3 months. So what is going to be capitalized will be this. This times 12 divided by 12 to be like this. This is what you're going to capitalize. Please get it right. This is what is going to be capitalized. If it was a full year, it was going to be 105. But since the drawdowns were actually done on specific times, we'll have to respect that. And the interest that will be capitalized, that will be taken in the balance sheet, will be 0.62. Thank you for today's lesson. I should do more videos on specific standards today to just cover up on what has been lost. Thank you so much. We are done with IAS 23 on borrowings. Thank you. Zigom Kwambili.